Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Yep, that's right. I'm back, totally unscheduled. Maybe nobody wanted this. I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see. But you know what, guys? I had talked to a couple other content creators about this throughout the year, and I wanted to do something for this movie, The Wizard, that we're gonna, watch here tonight. I wanted to put together a 35th anniversary celebration because this was a movie for a lot of us, like retro kids and 80s kids. I would imagine somebody like Garrett from Born to Be Rad and all those guys and everything. Like, The Wizard was a huge movie because, yeah, it's kind of a Nintendo commercial, but it's also a very, very sweet story. This is something where, and I don't know this for sure, I would love to talk to the person that wrote the story. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a movie they had written, like they had everything written and they just didn't know like what's the hook, right? So there's like a sweet story about a family, there's some tragedy and all of that, and then they were like, well, what if we can interweave this with something that'll grab a group, like a population, then maybe we can turn this into a movie. And I think The Wizard is exactly that. It's a Nintendo commercial that also has a very sweet, poignant story, not only about, a family and their journey and their tragedy and their loss and their growth and everything like that, but also, there are other characters that get roped in here and also have really great arcs as well. So I think this movie, it's one of those, I saw that my guys from Mystery Science Theater made fun of it on Riff Tracks, and I totally get it. But for me, this is a movie that like really actually, it does age well. And I'm not saying that it's like, you're not going to pit this against like Citizen Kane or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something like that. But I will say for what most people say that it is, which is a Nintendo commercial, I think this movie does a lot. And yeah, as a kid, like before Super Mario 3 had come out, I think it was probably released in Japan, like right around the time that this movie came out, and we got it like a year later, something like that. The Japanese make the games, so they should be able to play the games before we get to. But holy cow, knowing that when you first got your copy of Super Mario Brothers 3 that you already knew where one of the warp whistles were or was really, really cool. I'm excited to watch this one with you guys. Yeah, 4 days ago was the 35th anniversary. I wanted to put together like a retrospective or a live stream and just everything with spooky season. And then the holidays just totally made me lose it until I was reminded, I don't know, a couple days ago. So we're going to watch The Wizard with Fred Savage, my girl Jenny Lewis from Rilo Kiley. And of course, she has her own career as a very successful musician. I think she's one of the best musicians active right now, especially as far as like more pop driven music goes. Speaking of music, let me get my music on. There we go. How about that? It's kind of nice with that little bed of white bat audio, right? But yeah, Jenny Lewis, oh my God, she is fucked. Talk about aging well. Jenny Lewis is like 50, maybe a little bit older than 50, and holy cow, she is smoking still. And she's very, very cute here, of course. She's got such a charming face. Troop Beverly Hills, that was another one that she was in. I think there are a couple. If Cody Snyder is in the chat, I know that Cody will fill us in on the IMDb because he's really, really good about that. I think he definitely kicks my ass in that regard. But I want to say what's up to all of you guys. I do want to let you know there is a poll in the chat. This is all for fun. 11 votes, and the poll asks, is Super Mario Brothers 3 the greatest NES game of all time? 64% of people say yes, 100%, and 36% say no, the best game is, and I guess I'm waiting, TMNT. Okay, I got a little bit of TMNT love. No one else, I don't think, is putting out, let's see here. No one else is telling me what their favorite video game is. So that 36%, let me know. For me, I guess you could say as a technical achievement, maybe Super Mario Brothers 3 is the greatest NES game of all time. But for me, my favorite game is probably between, I don't know, the first Castlevania or Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I don't know. Let's see here. Big Rod says it was released in October of 88. I think in Japan it was. And then this movie came out in 89. And I think we got Super Mario Brothers 3 in the summer, after that had come out. I don't know. Let me know, Big Rod. I don't have the page pulled up and everything, but I know that all those titles, yeah, they would have released in Japan, 6 months to a year before we would get them. But yeah, let me say what's up to everybody here in the chat, and we will get going. I know there have been a lot of people that are streaming tonight. I wasn't planning on streaming. I wanted to be mindful of those people's shows and not, try to jump on right at the same time. So that's why we're doing this a little late. Really appreciate you guys kicking it with us. We got Lamontre Gillard. What's happening, Lamontre? And Cody says, oh, shit, Davey out of nowhere. That's right. What's happening, Billy Judd? Great to see you. Gory Tiger, how you doing? Nicholas Woodall, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Nicholas? We got Ryan Olashow. How are you doing, Ryan? What's in a Name, one of our great channel members as well, says, I want it. So when I jumped on the stream and I was like, I don't know who wants it, What's in a Name was like, I want it. Thank you so much for being a channel member. Your membership might have been purchased by somebody else, maybe, but I think that's awesome when other folks are giving. Guys, last weekend, Leanna and Cody gifted 35 memberships. So our membership almost doubled in that night. So that's why some of you are probably getting bugged by me multiple times a day. Cody, one of our Death Squad mods and channel members, says The Wizard is great. Yes, the TMNT video game was my most replayed NES game. Are you talking about the very first one by Ultra, or are you talking about the arcade game by Konami? Now, Ultra is still Konami. They just had to have a fake name so they could make more video games for Nintendo because Nintendo had a limit. But I'm curious to know, are you talking about the arcade port or that original game with that really tough swimming scene? Slasher Fred says The Wizard is all about autism because the character Jimmy is coping with his sister's death and video games help him through it. Yeah, clearly something is going on with Jimmy other than the tragic loss of the sister here. I think they were twins as well. Yeah, this movie, that's what I'm saying. This movie has a lot of heart. There's a lot of real shit going on. And I think that the great thing this movie accomplishes is that when you are a 6 or 7 year old kid and you see this in the theater, like I was, you're just seeing all the video game stuff and the journey to the video game stuff and all of that. And then you revisit a movie like this as an adult and you realize, man, this movie, like, it really is saying something. There's another level to a movie like The Wizard. And again, I'm not saying it's high cinema, but I am saying that it is a very entertaining film that works on multiple levels. And man, we could always use more of those, right? Like, I'll take all of that you got, especially nowadays. I feel like we're missing that a little bit. What's in a Name says, I was born in 82, so remember seeing it in the theater as a young age. Me too. What's in a Name? May 18th, 1982, right here. Big Rod says, in that time, Super Mario Brothers 3 was everyone's next Christmas gift. Yeah, that poster. Oh my gosh. California. What's up, Foz Rotten? My guy, Foz. Foz, we have to put together an episode of Movie Punks. Life has just been crazy, if you're still in the chat. But yeah, actually, we have a request from our great channel member and Death Squad mod, Leanna, who wants us to watch and cover Some Kind of Wonderful, which I've never seen. Mike Tyson's Punch Out was my favorite video game, says Nicholas Woodall. That's a really, really good, like, one of the most, maybe one of the most, like, the earliest rhythm game. It really is like Dance Dance Revolution, but with boxing. If you break down Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I mean, you've seen videos on YouTube of the people that are blindfolded that beat it in, like, 10 minutes or whatever it is. That's how much of a rhythm game it is, that if you listen to the music, you can win the fights if you learn the patterns. It's crazy. Big girls don't cry, they get even. Exactly, Cody. What's happening, Adrian James? Great to see you. Slasher Fred's favorite video game was Duck Hunt. Wow, that is okay. I love shooters, like, especially if you actually have a light gun. I really love shooters. Area 51 is one of my favorite arcade games of all time. The Time Crisis games are really fun as well. The Lethal Enforcers on the arcade, all that kind of stuff. Like, I really dig that as well. Sorry, guys, just wanted to fix my camera there. There we go. Foz says, some people think of Rad when they hear Send Me an Angel, but it will always bring to mind The Wizard for me. Yeah, I've only seen Rad maybe a couple times, Foz, but I've seen The Wizard a lot. Fred Savage, Super Mario Brothers 3, and fucking Jenny Lewis. Like, as a kid, I had the biggest crush. Like, look at that face right there. Look at that smile. It is just so sweet. And then if you listen to her music, holy cow, it sends it into a whole different stratosphere. The game came out in North America in October of 88. Oh, that's crazy, because this movie was December of 89. And I remember, at least from my memory, maybe it's Mandela effect, Big Rod. I remember not having played the game by the time that I saw the movie. That it was the movie was like a preview of the game for me. Let's see here. Or Teen Wolf 2, Send Me an Angel. All right. Let's not forget Christian Slater in this movie as well. Oh my God. We will get to that, Big Rod. Great cast. Beau Bridges, Christian Slater, Fred Savage, Jenny Lewis. Is it Luke Edwards? Is that the guy that plays Jimmy? I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays Bill in Christmas Vacation. He's Sam's cheating father in Freaks and Geeks. He plays like the stepfather here. That's like one of the villains of the movie. But a great performance. I mean, yeah. This movie, it's got what's his name? It's like Rick McRae or Rob McRae or something like that. He is in Loaded Weapon 1. He is the police chief, and he plays Spanky here, the truck driver that helps the kids. He touched my breast. I think Rad Foz, but that's my favorite movie of all time. There you go, Big Rod. Hell yeah. Foz, I'm a Christian Slater fanboy. Yes, Cody Snyder loves cuffs. He loves cuffs. Been one of my favorite actors for 30 years. Christian Slater's great. Gleam in the fucking cube. Are you kidding me? Love all three, but it's always the Wizard for me, and I listen to that song all the time. There you go. Let's see here. I just want to catch up with everyone. If anyone else has joined here, we got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house. How you doing, Leanna? Great to see you. One of our great Death Squad mods and channel members as well. I love Some Kind of Wonderful. There you go. Let's go. All right. There you go. It's all happening right before our very eyes. Billy, if you've never seen this movie, so usually when I do a watch party, the movie is available on streaming. You can rent this movie on streaming for, I think, less than $4. I'm going to be watching. Let me grab it really quick for you guys. I'm going to be watching this Blu-ray here. The cool thing about the Blu-ray, so the one disc is in the PlayStation. The second disc has got all this documentary stuff that's really fascinating. And they have a reversible... Oh, I don't need to reverse it for you. Reversible art that's like really cool too. That's just got that sort of, you know, when they do a 32-bit game, but they want to give it the retro look. I'm pretty tasteful, I would say. Yeah, so I'm going to be watching a Blu-ray. I always try to make sure that you guys can stream it somewhere for free, but it's the Wizard. It's the 35th anniversary. We're just going to roll. So yeah, Billy, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry that we spoiled that for you. I know it's a movie that's 35 years old. You look relatively young, so can't blame you. But yeah, I would say if you've never seen this movie and you're a movie fan or you're a video game fan or both, you should check this one out. It was OG. Well, I don't think at the very beginning it didn't come with the Nintendo at the very, very beginning. They put together like the power pack and had like the double cart version. And then later on, I think there was a 3-game version. And I can't remember what the third game was because that was the generation after my family got the NES. I'm the youngest of 5. So, you know, the NES came to America in like 86. So I was only 4 years old. I don't really remember playing it then. I'm guessing that we probably got ours like in 87 or 88 after it was like a thing. All right, let me check in here. Tyler Adams, that voice of hers. Oh my God, Jenny Lewis is absolutely amazing. Stunning voice. One of the most gorgeous ladies I've ever seen in my life. Holy crap. And a great songwriter. She's hitting all the points. You know what I mean? I mean, if ladies find Mick Jagger and Keith Richards attractive, just imagine how, you know, some folks feel about somebody like Jenny Lewis. Holy crap. Yeah, Rilo Kiley. Especially, man, they really hit the middle 2 records, The Execution of All Things and More Adventurous. I mean, I like their 4 records. The first and the fourth, like, you know, ish. But man, those middle two are really, really damn good. Let's see who else we got here. I know I'm just blah, blah, blahing as I'm off to one to do. There you go. Cuffs getting some love. Love to see it. Yes. You're correct, Slasher Fred. This movie has a small appearance by the original Spider-Man. Well, not the original. The first one in a feature-length film, but there was a 70s Spider-Man, of course, and then there's the Turkish Spider-Man as well. But I don't know if I count Turkish Spider-Man, but yes, one of the Spider-Man is in this movie. Prince, if you've never seen this movie, rent it, watch it along with us. That reminds me, I have to bring up the stopwatch. Let me see. Oh. I know I always try to rush stuff. It's like what Joe Bennett says in The Office when she's like trying to get me in bed when I still have my socks on. Always trying to rush stuff. Like I said last night on Late Night with the Davey, somebody had reached out to me. I mean, somebody whose opinion like I want to listen to, and somebody that's been a supporter for a long time, and they're like, you know what, man, like you just got to chill out on trying to rush everything, because we like hearing you blah blah blah. That's what we come there for. But I'm so obsessed with like wanting to make this channel entertaining for everyone that sometimes I forget that, man, a lot of the stuff I like is relatively like unpolished. Like a lot of the stuff that I listen to a little bit of both. Like I dig the unpolished thing, and I guess I don't want to waste anyone's time, even if I'm just chatting with you like face to face or hanging out with you guys online. But unpolished or not, you're always going to get 100% Davey, 100% Cotton, right? Legend of Billie Jean is great. The opening with the Divinals Boys in Town. I haven't seen that. I'm guessing there you go. Yes, Leanna brought that up because you told me about that one the other day. She's on one about the Legend of Billie Jean. I will say this though, Leanna is pushing what I'm watching and listening to, and it's always cool to have those people that come into your life that are sort of like, you're always on an orbit, right? Like that's the way life is. We're always circling some things, and then other things are circling us, and sometimes stuff matches up and sometimes it doesn't, and all of that. And Leanna has turned me on to some movies and some music as of late. That it's just been really, really awesome. So just got to give the shout out there to her. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Okay, so we have 11 people hanging out. It looks like I've sort of caught up and said what's up to all of y'all in the chat. We're going on almost 20 minutes. Guys, let me know if you voted no, but the best NES game is blank. If you're one of the 33% of 15 voters, so if you're one of those 5 people, let me know what your favorite game of all time is. And let's go ahead and get this rolling here. Why not, huh? It's about 8:30. Gonna have a little sip of my old-fashioned and root beer. This is the kind of classy guy I am, that I have an old-fashioned and I pour Dad's root beer into it. It's terrible. Cody says my grandmother thought they were because of that movie. Oh. What made people think that Christian Slater and Helen Slater were siblings? Let me see here. Sorry, guys. I have to catch up. Oh. I study nuclear science. I love my classes. I got a crazy teacher. He wears dark sunglasses. Oh, so now you're just quoting. This is... You're just playing with me now, Cody. Let me grab the controller, bro. Y'all. Okay, let's get the little stopwatch up here. Love that White Bat audio. I don't know if you guys listen to him. As I hear it in the background, I'm just like, oh, I really like that. Like if you guys like synthwave or whatever. Let me see if I can find a nice little spot for this one. There we go. All right, cool. So it's not blocking Luke Edwards' face. Before we get going, I want to say a couple things. I just did a reaction video to the Superman trailer. Man, sometimes it's tough doing those reaction videos because you're trying to pay attention. And some people, it's like, I wonder, like, do they watch it once or twice and then react to it? Because some people are very composed. Maybe I just have to do it more. Let me know in the chat or in the comments below. I know we usually cover horror here, but sometimes it's some nerdy shit like The Wizard or Superman or whatever, right? Castlevania, some sort of bullshit. I guess that's kind of horror as well. But just let me know what you guys think. Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. I do want to kind of keep up with the news a little bit more here. I'm feeling like really comfortable and having a good time doing that stuff. If I wasn't having a good time, I wouldn't want to do it. I actually think I like covering the news and sort of having that conversation about it and sharing that stuff more than I like reviewing things. And I feel like a lot of times when we're on a live stream or something, I'm able to sort of give you guys my review-ish without having it be its own video. And of course, there are tons of amazing YouTubers that review things that I'm sure you guys already watch. Like, if you want to see a review, who are you going to watch? Drum Dums? Or are you going to come and see what Davey Death Ray cares about? Like, you're going to go watch Drum Dums, and then I'm going to talk about it for 30 seconds on a live stream. And that's sufficient, right? But if I'm passionate about something and there's something in the news that I want to cover, I think I'm going to lean into that. I'm having a really great time with all of that as of late. So yeah, before we get going, cuffs. There you go. I enjoyed your trailer reaction today, Davey. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate you, man. I guess, I don't know, does this mean, are you on your phone right now? I saw your post about your laptop. I hope everything gets worked out very, very soon. Guys, if you have not checked out Mark's channel, Tales from the Shelf, really, really good stuff. Mark and we had him on late night, and man, we really hit it off. I think we talked for like 2.5 hours. And then I've had Mark on a couple other times to talk about, do like versus battles with movies. And Mark and I felt like it was straight jive right from the beginning, like really, really fun. We totally vibed, really good stuff. Check his channel out and throw him a sub if you haven't yet. Tyler says Superman trailer made me cry. Saving that girl was the straw that broke me. That was, I think, my favorite shot in the movie. Was that I love that rushing in and then time stops sort of shot there. I do think Crypto looks really, really adorable. Like, they really nailed a comic book feel so far. And you know what? I don't even know if I need to know the plot. Like, at this point, I'm sort of like, ooh, teasers are the way to go. Of course, I'm going to go watch the Superman movie in the theater, right? Like, so you don't really need to, like, there's not something that's going to make me say, I'm not going to watch it. It didn't make me cry or anything, but I don't have that big of a connection with the character. I know, I watched Cecil from the Horror Show channel, my good bud Cecil over there. He watched it and started tearing up when he saw Crypto. And I totally get it. I wish I felt it's great to see that experience come through others, because I've got those things that make me feel that way. And I think the best thing a movie can do is make you feel something, make you feel an emotion, elicit an emotion, as it were. Foz liked the dog. He was a very good boy. Lois has a great look. I think Superman looks good in the suit. I'm not sure about his Moss from the IT crowd hair otherwise, but I like the national anthem super saturated, like squished electric guitar sound that they had. It was a very squished sound, like not very dynamic, but very fuzzy. Like, I really, really dug that for the John Williams theme. And then they open it up with more of an orchestra after that. And I think they brought in, or at least they made more evident, like a minor key melody there when the rest of the instrumentation came in. And that was when my goosebumps went up a second level. So maybe there are some folks that don't I always am thinking about the music. Maybe if there's somebody that's just watching it for everything else, the music is subconsciously, making them tear up and bringing up those emotions. But I would imagine somebody like Tyler, you must have been affected by the music. I mean, come on. The music was absolutely gorgeous. And I know that you're a music guy. Don't sell yourself short, Davey. I'm very interested in what you have to say. Also, yes, I'm only on my phone. Or I'm on my phone. There you go. All right. I appreciate that, Mark. I appreciate the honesty. I guess I should have known that when people started telling me, you remind me of Dave McRae. And it's like, okay, that's great. I mean, he's my favorite. Like, if I had to pick one YouTuber that, really, really stands out to me, I guess I would say that Dave is the one. And it doesn't mean that I'm not trying to disparage anyone else. I love so many channels. I watch so many channels every single day. But everyone's got to have a favorite. Like, I would never want to tell Chris Conley from Saves the Day that I actually like Lifetime better. But I do. But I also really love Saves the Day. I got a thing for bands from New Jersey. What the fuck can I do? I don't know. Like, two of my favorite bands of all time are from New Jersey, and I'm gonna hurt one of their feelings if I tell them that the other band is better. So I got to be careful about all that. Let's see here. Geek Squad has my laptop right now. All right, the Geek Squad, are they just sniffling over it right now, talking about Sydney Sweetie or something like that? We're overdue for another show, Davey, maybe in the new year. Absolutely. I would love to put something together in January. Terminator versus Terminator 2, man, because I'm a huge original The Terminator stan, as they say, as the kids say. Superman trailer got me in the feels, just loved it. Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor looked like Agent 47. Well, yeah, Nicholas Holt. Sorry, I didn't mean to click that off. There you go, Prince. Yeah, he's a relatively slender guy. Relatively very slender guy. I'm not saying he's not muscular, but man, he's very skinny. He kind of reminded me in the shots that they used in this movie. Yeah, when he had the one with the gun, I totally get what you're saying, Agent 47. I didn't play the Hitman games. To me, it reminded me of like a Bond villain. I was like, oh, Lex has got this like this what's the guy's name, the guy that Dr. Evil is based on. Why am I forgetting this? Why do live streams make you Ernst Blofeld? Lex has a Blofeld kind of feel here, and I know they both have shaved heads and everything, but there was just something like Bond-esque about it. And I will say, it looks like a comic book. I think that's a good thing. Like, no matter how you slice it, comic book movies should remind you of comics, and maybe not every time, but every now and then. It's all about the dynamics, right? Like, movies like The Dark Knight are great. Movies like Batman v Superman that have that version of Batman are great. Michael Keaton's 89 Batman, directed by Tim Burton, great. Like, these characters can be used in so many different ways. It's like a soap opera. So it's like, it doesn't always have to be the same. And it is refreshing to see Superman be light. Like, the colors are bright. Even though he's getting stuff thrown at him from the people, like, there is this, you do feel a sense of hope in the trailer. And I thought that was great. There you go. T1 versus T2. Tyler says, I watch a few people on YouTube and all of them talk like some other channels I've never watched or heard of are the better ones that we all watch. I'm just like, who's that? I'm here for you. Yeah, I've had a couple of those. I know I've talked about it a couple times, and I'm not trying to like throw anyone under the bus or anything. But yeah, there have been channels, Tyler, that I used to watch and loved for a long time, and they really are the heavy hitters. And once I started making my own content, I really like backed off. It gave me a totally different perspective. And there's just a couple few of those that I've backed off on. I love a lot of the heavy hitters, like, Lee from Drum Dums, Dave McRae, Cody Leach. I mean, how could I let those guys go? Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards, like, oh my God. Of course, Darren and Frank from the Slaughterland Movie Podcast. Like, I've got my staples, and there are a couple that I used to really, really dig that are some of the, the bigger guns. Yeah, but just had to get away from. All right, guys, I think I'm sort of caught up here with you all. It's been 30 minutes. I think maybe we can get the movie going. What do you guys say? What do you say? Let me pull it on up, y'all. I can hear the PlayStation get all revved up. I have this Darth Vader PlayStation. Got a whole awesome Darth Vader decal on it. Really, really cool. Gift from my friend Evan Elmore. Mark says making YouTube videos myself has changed the way I watch YouTube. It's weird. Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel the same way. Oh shit, Foz, thank you so much. Holy crap, Cody Snyder. $5 super chat from our guy. He says, I'm not letting that get away from you. You, me, and the Foz. Cuffs, watch along in the future. He sounds like he's down. I'm totally down. Hell yeah. I would love it. Like I said, when we shot the Tales from the Crypt and All Through the House review, Cody. And by the way, for everybody that's a member that's out there, I'm like halfway there on the edit. It's tougher than I thought the edit was going to be. So I've just sort of pushed stuff back because I don't really have anything planned for Friday or Saturday during the day. So tomorrow I am going to drop the Tales from the Crypt and All Through the House episode review. That's with Cody Snyder here, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods, with Cody and Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies. That was a lot of fun, and I'm just sort of editing everything and throwing some images on there and having some fun with it. So that's going to drop for channel members tomorrow, and then it's going to drop for everyone else probably on Saturday morning because, guys, I don't know if you know this, there's a poll on the community tab, and it's about the movie we're going to watch on Saturday. So I need you guys to vote if you haven't voted. There's 64 votes so far. Let me bring that up. Gremlins has 25%, Die Hard with 36. That's the front runner. Krampus with 23% and Jack Frost with 16. So it looks like we're going to be watching Die Hard on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't voted and you want your voice to be heard, then jump on over there to the community tab and check that out. Actually, I think I can share that in the chat. So let me just go ahead and do that. So there you go. You can click on that if you want to take part. Speaking of polls, 18 votes is Super Mario Brothers 3 the greatest NES game of all time. 72% say yes, 100%. 28% say no. The best NES game is Castlevania Dracula's Curse. That's just my own opinion, folks. All right. So, okay, I think we've done enough commercials. Thank you so much, Cody, for the 5. Really appreciate you guys. Man, the super chats and Big Rod has sent me a couple donations through the Venmo QR code. That's a great way if you don't want anyone else to touch the money that you want to donate to the channel to support us financially. Venmo's the best way. I also have Apple Pay. Some of you have taken advantage of that. That's another good one as well. So no obligation. Really, all I ask is like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already, share it with somebody that you think would like this kind of nonsense, and come on back for more good times. Okay, folks, let's get into it. I've blah, blah, blah long enough. Oh, shit, but it's Dean Renner. All right, enter the Cinevaults. Dean Renner, how you doing, Dean? So great to see you. Salute to you as well. Really appreciate you jumping in. Are you a fan of this movie, Dean? What do you think? What do you think? Have you seen The Wizard? Do you love it so much? Am I preaching to the damn choir over here? I don't know, Dean. Let me know. We are going to get going, though, because it is almost 9 o'clock. Long-winded Davy. Okay, and the movie just started like immediatamente. Okay, guys. So I am starting at 0.000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. And on go, we're going to push start or play. Whatever. I'm going to push both. You just push play. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. The Universal logo is coming up. I'm going to cut the music. Yeah. There we go. Universal, an MCA company. Always reminds me of Jaws, seeing that version of the logo. A Finnegan Pinchuk Company production. Oh, and this looks like it was shot where I live in the middle of the desert. It probably was shot, outside of Palm Springs. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, he's trying to get to California, and there's a whole bunch of nothing out there where you can film, and it's probably very, very easy to do that job. It is a road trip movie. In multiple there's, like, 4 different road trips going on at the same time, Slasher Fred. It's crazy. Dean hasn't seen The Wizard in years. Due for a watch. Who let me know in the chat if you're watching along. I'm curious to know. If you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. That helps these streams immensely. Really, really cool. And yeah, just let me know what you think of the film. Autocorrect is the biggest jerk. There we go. I had to turn up the music. Good soundtrack. And I got to make sure that the subtitles are on. There we go. Great song. You know, sometimes I think I've said this before on the channel. It's like sometimes there's music that it's like I don't know if I would really listen to it on its own or enjoy it as much as I would like outside of the context of the film. I think that's I mean, I guess it's probably a bummer for the band. They probably wish their music was like resonated with everybody all the time. But I do think it's cool when there's, you know, when people are making a movie and then they can pick something that just really resonates and fits. Cody, I'm starting to get some like, do you think some of The Hitcher was filmed out here? Even there's some stuff from like the Doors movie. It feels like they always use the same couple stretches of road, like in between California and Arizona. Cozy Cody. Yeah, that would be pretty fun. Frank McRae. There you go. I was like Rob or Rick or something. I don't know. A Me First cover band doing all the songs from movies and call it the original soundtracks. Foz, I'm friggin' there, dude. I'm there. Can I be your backup vocalist? I've been a lead vocalist. I think I could be a really good backup vocalist to somebody like you. I'll play bass or guitar. Just let me know, man. Cali and Nevada. Okay. It's, you know, I've done that drive. I live in the West Valley of Phoenix, so it's about like 6 hours to like a city and to like San Diego or LA. You know, but like halfway there, you pretty much get into California when you're driving from Phoenix because it's, you know, kind of on the west side of the state of Arizona. So this all looks just so familiar. And yeah, I'm not surprised it's in California because it's probably easier just to keep those, you know, filming locations in state. Tambourine's great. 4 minutes behind. Okay. If you want to jump ahead, Dean, all that happened is the little kid was walking on the road and then the police picked him up. So if you want to jump up to where we're at here, we're kind of getting to the heart of the matter with the mother and the stepfather who's unreasonable. Don't forget that report, Bill. Oh, and the two women are like, dude's crazy. That's all. They're just like, they're communicated that with their eyes. They're so intuitive. Crank McRae? Oh, come on, Ryan. Exactly. Yeah. Probably cheaper to just film in California. You don't have to get permits anywhere else. Is she dressed as like, what is that outfit? Like Sailor Boy crackers or I don't know. It's a wild outfit. Perfect. I'll take it, Dean. You know what? I'll take it. Bo Bridges, ladies and gentlemen, he's not burning all the food. Don't worry about that. Fred Savage at like the height of his popularity, you know, it's amazing. And Christian Slater too. I mean, you know, 89 for Christian Slater, he's already, you know, one of the rising stars and like a total like, you know, hunk. It is pretty impressive when you look back and you're like, this Nintendo commercial movie has Bo Bridges, Fred Savage, and Christian Slater in it, and Jenny Lewis. Their refrigerator, though, is from 1955. I'm not a little hungry. I'll imitate Jack Nicholson later. I don't know if I saw that one, Ryan, but I'm not surprised a lot of celebrities have. Yeah, I mean, Christian Slater was in so much. He's really, really good. I mean, at some point, every actor is going to take a role that's not a good role, and then they're going to get blamed, right? Like people, like look at Nicolas Cage's career and think about all the movies in his career that are legitimately laughingly bad, and then think about the fact that the dude's like won an Oscar or two, and it like, and sometimes just blows you away with his performance. Like to me, that says it's not about the skill of the actor. It's like actors, and I mean this in the best way possible. It's going to sound terrible. On a film production, actors are tools, you know? And so if you don't have a good script and you don't have a director that knows how to like get the best out of the actor, or the casting director screwed up and didn't hire the right person for the job, then it ain't going to play right. And so I think it's like one of those, like you look at Christian Slater and you're like, yeah, when he's good, he's really good. And there certainly is a charm there. You know, I mean, what can you say? Intentional obsolescence these days. Nicholas with Martin Sheen, I never sat and watched it. I'm ashamed to say. Oh shoot. Okay. Christian Slater made a movie Beyond the Stars. Yeah, I've never heard that one. Heard of that one. Yeah, Foz. He's in the new Dexter. Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think I might be. I never watched. I saw like a couple episodes of Dexter, or like a half episode here, half episode there. I don't know. But the new one looks really interesting with the cast. Sarah Michelle Gellar, man, I didn't appreciate her when I was the right age to appreciate her. Like when I was in high school, I wasn't like that was when Buffy was on. I wasn't watching it. I went and saw like I Know What You Did Last Summer. I knew who she was and all that. But man, I totally missed it. I wasn't, for whatever reason, I was so obsessed with the things that were like right in front of me in high school, like, you know, having a band and a girlfriend and all that stuff, that I didn't really, all those things you're really supposed to enjoy, like sexy pop stars in high school. I didn't give a fuck. And then Rachel Lee Cook hit me like a fucking ton of bricks when I was in my early 20s. True. Exactly. And this house looks like every house in Portland in the Northeast area. What's happening, Cecil? Dude, we were just talking about you, man. We were talking about Superman. Loved your video. And yeah, was just talking about like, I wish I had, you know, it's really cool to see the people that, you know, Superman means so much to them and has meant so much for so long. Like, I'm a fan of the character, of course, you know, but it's really cool to see the folks that are like really, really into it. Like I'm, you know, I totally get it when when I know I'm not the biggest fan in the room. And it was really cool watching your reaction and hearing your insight, because there's so much that I miss as not having that experience. You know, you've been following the character since 1992. So, you know, we're going on, you know, 32 years here, almost 33 years. So yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out the Horror Show channel, I don't know what you're doing. You got to check out what Cecil's doing over there. Cecil is not only a content creator here on YouTube, and very entertaining in that right, but he's also a creator as well, and one of the most active-minded guys. If you take a 15-minute car ride with Cecil, you're gonna hear like 6 or 7 different ideas for projects or stories. It's really, really cool. Not everyone's like that. It's a cool thing. Leanna says, I do like Christian Slater, but Fred Savage in the Wonder Years was a cutie pie. Absolutely. Oh, of course. And this is right in the heart of the whole Wonder Years thing here. I think he had done Little Monsters like the same year or the year before. I love that they have the tree, like the tree that's ready to plant like the whole time. It's the beacon of their car, right? The DeLorean had the little rod that hung off the back, and Christian Slater and Beau Bridges have the tree. Giovanni Ribisi was on the Wonder Years for a while there. There you go. I totally missed that one. Yeah, Giovanni, really good performer there. Yeah, I think sometimes with Christian Slater's acting, it's more the material. You know, he's got that, I don't know, James Dean kind of feel. Like, let's be honest, everyone. Like, James Dean is like not a great performer, but there's like an essence there, and there are moments there. And I think like Christian Slater has a similar vibe where it's about like the angsty looks, like mixing with the sexiness and all that kind of stuff, or just the good looks or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some James Dean stuff where I was like, this guy was a movie star. I mean, I get it, but I don't really get it. Like, I know the pictures that are on posters more than I know his filmography. Davey was the sexy pop star. Oh, come on. Christian Slater was the sexy pop star. Went downhill after season 5. Yeah. TV shows, man. TV shows kind of suck. But I guess in some way they're more successful than movies. It's really, really odd. I mean, the thing about TV, I don't want to get into it now while we're watching this movie. If you don't have an end in sight, you're running into trouble. That's what I'm going to say on TV. I love the way the Brits do it. 2 or 3 seasons and get the fuck out. Regroup, maybe do a legacy series later, you know? Yeah, Ryan, you bring up a good point. William H. Macy's, yeah, he's really, really good. He's one of those guys that's like kind of understated. Yeah, there are some guys out there that are some guys and gals that slowly they put together like this very, very impressive resume, right? And you're just like, holy crap. William Sadler, for me, you know, William Sadler, who played you know, Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. He was in The Man Who Was Death, which is the first episode of Tales from the Crypt. Check out my review on the channel. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. Anything Frank Darabont does, pretty much William Sadler's there. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. Like that guy, low key, as far as like people that are not recognized as major movie stars, like the heavy hitters, I think William Sadler is my favorite actor. Like he's one of those guys that's like never been disappointed in a performance. I never felt like he brought something flat in a performance, and he always stands out. Like, how do you can't typecast William Sadler? No way. Like, look at the guy's IMDb, and it's like this guy plays anything he wants. And yeah, I do enjoy William H. Macy. We're getting near like this is awesome, like Dumb and Dumber territory with like the, you know, back on back skateboard. That's a very dangerous move there for them to make. I've toured in bands, and I tell you what, driving on those roads make you nervous as fuck. And especially if you're not behind the wheel and your bandmate wants to cut it really close on a half dash, which happened to me once. Hello there. Is this the exact same cave from Star Wars. No, I know it's not. I know it's not. I know that they filmed that on the other side of the world. Come on, Tunisia. It just kind of looks like the cave where R2's kind of hanging out, hiding. Yeah. Battlestar Galactica. I remember that one because my family and I visited Universal back in like 87 or 88. Slasher Fred. So yeah, Jaws, King Kong, Battlestar Galactica, the Psycho House is on that tour. They also have like the motel area and the spot that like floods like the old West Town, which they still use at Universal Studios. I think my favorite part about the Universal Studios tour is like when you're up going through the neighborhood, you can look down on the WB lot. So, and you can see the street, the same street from Christmas Vacation was used in Desperate Housewives. And so when you're on that tour, you can look down there and check out that neighborhood. I love movie magic. I love behind the scenes shit. Like I'm a total fucking nerd. Like if you guys haven't learned, if you learn one thing about me while watching me on this channel is I'm a fucking nerd. And we got $34 to St. George, Utah. Been there, played a show there. Not much happening there. But man, the people that show up to punk rock shows in St. George, Utah, they throw down because there's they got to squeeze everything out of the sponge that night. Let's just say it that way. 50,000 on Double Dragon? Like that's full does that mean anything? Like you can't get 50,000 on Double Dragon in the first level. I mean, I've played it and you can't do that. And in Double Dragon, it's the point system gives you the hearts, it unlocks extra moves. You got Jenny Lewis here. Look at that big, beautiful hair. Reading Cosmo. Too young for Cosmo, maybe. I don't know. Let me catch up with you guys here. James Dean was a great performer. Come on, Giant. I mean, I've only seen a little bit, Leanna, but I don't know. I wasn't too sold. I have not seen Bird Box. The rumor is pretty funny, though. You can sort of believe it. Yeah, I agree, Wig Rod. That's why I really like the Castlevania show, because it's like 8 to 10 episodes. I think that's the way to go. Per season, 8 to 10 episodes. I don't think you're asking too much. Yeah, William Sadler's the bomb. Foz throwing down the Grim Reaper rap. Love it. Short Circuit watch along. All right, it's been a while. Yeah, you know, it's a great storytelling mechanism. Look at the confidence in Fred Savage's like facial performance. You know, I think that's one of those things that like, you know, using your face as a performer can go a long way. It's believable, it's charming. I love it. She's got so much hair. He's got so many ears. See, 25,200. And that's like the fourth level. So you can't get to 50,000 on the first level. It's absurd. It's absurd. What's happening, Kyle Curtis? Great to see you, man. Appreciate you jumping on in. Loved watching you in the Slasher Cast, guys. Or Splattercast, sorry. Splattercast. I know my words. Yeah, it was fun, Slasher Fred, you know. Captain N, I thought that was really cool, even though they turned my boy Simon Belmont into a total like, why did they do the opposite thing with Simon Belmont? You know what? Now that I think about it, I hate that show, Slasher Fred. Because Mega Man was green and talked like this. And I'm like, why would Mega Man ever talk like that? He's a boy. A robot boy, by the way. And Simon Belmont was just this like pretty boy coward. And I'm like, oh yeah, the guy that hunts Dracula and fights Dracula only cares about his looks and his hair. But Leanna would like to know that Simon Belmont in Captain N the Game Master has a very, very nice pompadour. Oh, yeah, for sure. Princess Bride. Little Monsters. He directed so many episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Look at that. Big Rod throwing Kyle Curtis some love there on his streams, who went live, I think, twice today. I didn't know that, Ryan. Oh, yeah. Double Dragon's great. Played it a lot. It's one of those games that was just in everyone's house, you know? Like, I didn't own Double Dragon, but everyone else did. Oh, shit. Okay. I did not know that. I haven't seen that movie, Cody. And then Ben is in Little Monsters as well. And he's playing the NES version, so that's a Play Choice 10 in the table. I've never been to a spot that has a Play Choice 10 in a table. That's really cool, though, if that's true, because anyone that knows that's played the Ninja Gaiden version, if you've played Ninja Gaiden Arcade, totally different. The NES game, in my opinion, is a far better video game for sure. Leanna says, Double Dragon put punching women in the stomach on the map. Jesus, why is Leanna always the funniest person in the room? This is supposed to be my channel. I'm supposed to be the funniest one. Come on, Leanna. Don't, you're taking it all away. You take it all away. Yeah, that is pretty funny. That is look at that. Look at that right there. It really did. And then there were all these other video games that was like, you know what? A gang comes up and punches your girlfriend in the stomach and takes her away, like Final Fight, Streets of Rage. I mean, even, and I guess this is technically, I think before Double Dragon, Ghosts and Goblins, like Satan, literally, you're hanging out in your underwear with your gal in the middle of a fucking graveyard. These guys are gothic as fuck in Ghosts and Goblins. And then the devil comes and kidnaps your girlfriend. Well, I'm not trying to like victim blame, but maybe don't hang out in your underwear in a graveyard and the devil won't try to kidnap your girlfriend. I don't know what to tell you, Arthur. I just don't know what to tell you. Never seen it. Got to check that one out. He did play a mole in Austin Powers. Yes. The movie True Beverly Hills had the actress who played the annoying, Small Wonder. I don't remember her that show was like kind of before, not really before my time, but it was never reran, so I didn't really watch Small Wonder, but I know what you're talking about. The show with the robot girl. Yeah. And it also has Shelley Long and Craig T. Nelson, I think, is in that movie, True Beverly Hills. Let me know in the chat if I'm wrong. Oh, absurdly on point, Big Rod. It's frustrating, really. This is why I need a co-host. I just need somebody to co-host every little stream with me, whether it's Cody or maybe get Jamie in there every now and then, or of course, Leanna. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if they're not beating up your girl and taking her away, then like you're beating up some other girl, right? It's true. Streets of Rage 2 is top tier, though. Let's be honest, Dean. Streets of Rage 2. I do have to be careful because I think there's some Italian blood there, and I do not want to offend, at all. Big Rod, thank you so much for bringing up Contra, because when I was going to say favorite video game on the NES or best video game on the NES, like Contra or Super C do deserve a spot in that conversation. I think the important thing to know about the Nintendo is if you're talking either Nintendo games straight up, produced by the company that created the system, or you're talking Capcom, or you're talking Konami. Like, and I don't think there's any other, developer that would even be in the conversation for a top 3 game. I would be surprised. Maybe Journey to Silius by Hudson Soft. Maybe. I think it's Hudson Soft, or no, Sunsoft. My apologies. Oh, sure. Yeah, the Konami code is great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the parts where Bo and Christian are playing video games. Absolutely epic. This guy's a total shitbag for robbing little kids. And I was genuinely being very, very nice, Dean, but I do understand the implication that could be possible in saying that somebody's funny. I guess what I would say, if I could reiterate, is Leanna's syntax, phrasing, and timing is just absolutely perfect and very, very comedic in its nature and causes me to feel great jovial joy. There you go. Who made Final Fantasy? I can't think of that right now, Big Rod. I didn't really get into many like true RPGs. I've played a couple here and there. I like the like adventure RPG is, like the Zelda kind of stuff, Simon's Quest. I like that stuff a little bit more than your like um, turn-based RPG fighter. I can't think of who made. Oh, wait, wait, wait. Oh, I just had it. I just had it. Damn it. It's not Sierra. I thought I just had it, but I lost it. Like the hippos sang, I had it, and I lost it. Now you gotta help me get it back again. Thank you so much, Andy. How are you doing, man? You're playing Super Mario Brothers 2, and there's light, upbeat music. Wonder where they are there. I've gotten to that age in my life where I'm like, now where did they shoot this? I wonder how much that building is for sale for. I'm an old ass. I'm 42, everyone. If you don't know that about me, I'm old ass. Not as much as I do, Cody. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the schnoz. Very straight. Absolutely. I love it, Dean. Having grown up in Southeast Alaska, like it's mostly native people. There's a big Filipino population, and there's a big white population as well. But a lot of white people are just. I mean, if you're a white person on the West Coast, you're about as mutt as it gets. You've lost like all pride of culture and everything like that. That's just how it's gone out here. So it is really like I love that about my siblings grew up on the East Coast. I'm a Capitals, Redskins, and Yankees fan. And it's really refreshing. Like I love that get to the point kind of East Coast attitude and vibe and feel. And I think the Italians are great examples of that kind of attitude. I actually kind of like that Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, I appreciate how wild and ambitious it really is because it's fucking out there, that movie. And it's its own thing. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's weird. I know that's a really weird thing to say, and I don't mean it in like again, I'm not saying that the Super Mario Brothers movie is like fine cinema. There's just something about it to where I'm like, how can I hate this movie? It is just so wild. There you go. Foz, sing it with me. I can't believe it what she says to me. It brings me closer to insanity. Wow. There you go. I feel like Dean, one of the things that's important is like we count on our friends to give us shit in a playful way and then also to call us out on our shit. Close enough. Leguizamo. Oh, yeah. Didn't know that. Oh, and what are they at the Grand Canyon now? Is that what this is? Oh no, this has got to be what is this? Salt Lake? Oh, Lake Tahoe? Lake Tahoe, probably. The bikers helping them out. Another great song here. It's like propaganda, says Dean. I'll call you on your shit. Please call me on mine. It's true. It's true, Big Rod. I do find it charming. Leg was not going to work here anymore anyway. Holy crap. Why? Send me. Leanna, why are you so hilarious? Why? Stop it. Stop it. Too likable. Stop it. Yeah. It is wild and out there. It's fucking crazy. One of the most ambitiously wild movies I've ever seen. Yes. I like that they auto corrected you to K. Like, what Fox's song? Yes. The bikers though are very, that's a thing. It's kind of cool they work that into the movie because yeah, I mean, I would imagine most people know this, that like the Hells Angels and like all the biker gangs are, I would imagine the things that they do to people that do bad things to kids is very, very bad. I don't know. But I've heard about some wild shit. And yeah, they've always been advocates for child safety for sure. Is it better in Rad? I don't know. Maybe it is. What's happening, Ashton? How are you doing? We got our guy Ashton Luck hanging out with us. I actually, Andy, I might go watch that Sonic movie this weekend because I got a Fandango gift card from Killjoy Jake's channel. Just was entered in a raffle and won the card, and it was like a $50 gift card, and no one wants to go see a movie with me. So that means with a $50 gift card, I can watch like 3 or 4 movies. So I might go see that Sonic movie. I like the first two. Jim Carrey's one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he's a comedic genius. I love his performances, and I do think that the Sonic movies have actually been pretty enjoyable for sure. Yeah. A code of honor-ish. Yeah, as long as you're not an adult, there's a bigger registration of honor. What's happening, Brooke Scarlett? How are you doing? Holy cow. Brooke, what time zone are you in? I'm not trying to dox you or anything like that, but what time zone are you in? Because I know we may be dangerously close to your birthday. Guys, at least from what I learned from Goodwill Hunting, correct me if I'm wrong, Brooke, but Brooke's birthday is the 20th of December. So let's give Brooke some birthday love, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Oh, of course. Love Dennis Hopper. He's so good in Land of the Dead. Yeah. And his legendary Heineken, fuck that shit. Line from Blue Velvet that was used in Green Day's Kerplunk. Love it. I learned about Blue Velvet through Kerplunk by Green Day. How wild is that? How many people, if you look at a pie chart, what percentage of people learned about David Lynch's Blue Velvet because they listened to Kerplunk by Green Day? Got to be a small percentage. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but it's got to be a small percentage. If I can watch Y2K, watch it. I've heard such mixed things about that. Foz, is it good? I don't know. I just don't know. 10:30 where Andy's at. All right, so Andy's in Central. And of course, so, we got Lucas playing with the Power Glove, which we know that the Power Glove took a genius or rocket scientist just to set up, and you had to input a different code for every game just to be able to use it. And then of course, I'm sure fans of this movie know the grossness of this Lucas character, unfortunately. Sort of like every time you bring up Jeepers Creepers and you feel obligated to bring up the other stuff. Yeah, that's I love that when Mario's dancing with Big Bertha and he's trying to get the medallion. Sorry, the chat's covering, but the medallion that's like right in her. She's a big luscious black woman, and he's got this medallion like right in her cleavage. That song, Walk the Dinosaur, man, that song is so absurd but so incredibly catchy. It's wild when that happens. It feels like that hasn't happened in a long time. Maybe the Macarena was the last time a song was so like wild and stupid, but also really catchy for some reason, in a way that like captured it seemed like the dinosaur thing was a thing. He's good as a villain in Speed for sure. Look, Beau Bridges trying to cuddle up with Christian Slater. The 80s were wild, man. Yeah, good Koopa. I mean, Dennis Hopper was great in so much. I mean, a guy that really did kind of have that artiste kind of, I don't know. Every time he was in a movie, it was always just he just sucks your attention, and maybe not everybody, but there are certain actors with me where I just feel like drawn to them, somebody like Michael Fassbender or James McAvoy, like people that just like literally I feel tractor beamed in. And I think Dennis Hopper has that kind of vibe where he sucks you in. Willem Dafoe's got that kind of vibe. Toni Collette has that kind of vibe. Some performers just tractor beam. Yeah, I mean, I think Billy, he may have done the voice in the CG movie. We're talking about that 93 live action film. I can totally get that, Slasher Fred. Yeah, kind of has that vibe. Yes, Cody, you're right. We're going to see Tobey Maguire here in the third act of the film. Happy birthday, Brooke Scarlett. Happy birthday to you. How about that, Brooke? There you go, Jack Black. Keegan Michael Key was the where is that chat here? Keegan Michael Key was the substitute teacher. I love this. This is great. Christian Slater's like, I'm walking on the desert ground just to get the Nintendo, Dad. And they left the Nintendo just in the bed of the truck. Are you kidding me? Dust is gonna kill these things. Stop it, guys. But I do love this. Putting the Nintendo on the TV, amateur move, because you know the cables are gonna like swing down in front of the screen, so you can't do that shit. You got to swing the Nintendo around and either put it on a shelf below the television, Christian, or you just get swing it around. You just put it right on the ground in front of you, just right on the ground in front of you. That's the way to go. Trust me, I know. I've played these things, and let's see, what is he going to get into? I know they get into Zelda. Okay, so we got the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Ultra, which is actually just Konami. But they called themselves Ultra so they could make more games. But I think in the morning, this is a really, really tough game he's playing. I think in the morning, yeah, here we go. Love the boxers. What's going on with the boxers there? Everything in this shot is either white or teal. And then I really like the moving the controller. You're playing Zelda and you're like doing like getting really, really into it. I guess that's Zelda isn't that intense of a game, I don't think. But yeah, this is some really cute shit. They're bonding over video games. This is adorable. Oh, he's playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, so it must be later on when he's playing Zelda and he's like, I'm in the 4th level and I got the blue ring and the silver arrows or whatever the hell. There you go. All right, you're in Central, so you're just okay. So you are a couple hours away. All right. Medallion in the cleave. Medallion in the cleave. You are too sweet, Dean. Thank you so much. Voice of an angel. Ah. Cable Guy's really, really good. Dryland isn't a myth. I've seen it. Karaoke jam at your place. No ifs, ands, or buts. Well, maybe a couple buts. Big ones. Yeah. Cable Guy's great. I tried to watch Swingers a couple times and it didn't really vibe with me, unfortunately. I love Made. Like Made is my Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau movie. Like that's the one that connected with me. That's the one that really cracks me up. I think we got a young Famke Janssen in there, or however you pronounce that name. I don't know. I'm just some idiot that grew up in Juneau, Alaska. Me, a rude boy from Juneau, Alaska. Oh, Keenan was Toad. Okay. Yep, there you go. You have to have the RF connector. And then in my we still had like an Atari 2600 or 5200 or whatever it was. We would plug like the RF into that RF, and then that way you wouldn't have to switch if you wanted to play an Atari game and then jump on over to the Nintendo. You didn't have to like unhook the whole thing from the TV. There may be some Blades of Steel later. Blades of Steel was kind of fun. I'm a big I really like ice hockey. Just the original ice hockey. I'd be Swedes and I'd be all fat. I'd always pick Swedish guys and they'd all be fat because you can win every fight and you got a mad slap shot. Nice handheld cam here. I think we have like Steven Dorff's stunt double is one of these guys here. Not him. He's ugly even for the 80s. There you go. Get into the game. Have a great night, Foz. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, man. Dean says, I just need to know how my streaming rental with no ads when I skipped like 5 to 7 seconds ahead is now behind the rest of the stream. It's probably just because I'm out of sync here. I don't know. Let me see. No, I mean if you follow the timestamp right up there, Dean, you should be good. Should be good unless maybe the roll in before the title cards and everything. Maybe they do like the one on my Blu-ray is like the old school Universal. So I don't know if there's an extra. Sometimes there's like another 4 or 5 second ad. You know, I need to see Silent Movie, Slasher Fred. So yeah, Jennifer got too close to the river and got swept away. Really sad stuff. It's true, Cody. It's true. Yeah, it's great that they worked him in there. I thought that Chris Pratt did a good job. Cruel ZV says, by the way, welcome to the chat. Cruel ZV says, personally, my favorite NES game is Friday the 13th. Also sad to hear it's shutting down in 2 weeks. You mean the new, I mean, NES, like, are you talking about the LJN NES Friday the 13th game? I actually think that's one of the better LJN games for sure. But yeah, the modern Friday the 13th, the game is shutting down in the new year. Yeah, you have to watch. There's some really You Can Beat Video Games is one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and then there's Retro Nate. They both do really good walkthroughs where they explain like this is how you should perceive the map, this is how you should read this and that, and the best way to beat the game. And it seems like very doable if you follow their instructions. But yeah, as a kid, I got my ass kicked. I really love the A Nightmare on Elm Street LJN video game too. LJN gets ripped on all the time, but those two games I think are really good. Yeah, you like the LJN. I love that. Like she's really given him the you can tell the younger gals, you know, when you're 13 years old, the ladies, clearly she's looking for something he had no idea that she was looking for. California. It's great. It's beautiful. It's a great shot right there. Nice symmetry. And then we have Mr. Ernst's brother from Hey Dude coming on in. We got a play choice 10 in the background there. Final round. I never saw that. I don't think I ever saw that boxing game. Ninja Warrior. I think I've got Ninja Warrior on a pack that I bought on the Switch. Old arcade beat 'em up. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is great. Oh, it's so tough, Big Rod, to find that time. Luke Edwards and Jenny Lewis. Yeah. Oh, Friday the 13th, the game's really tough. Every time I've jumped on a live round, I get my ass kicked. Like I just get destroyed. Whether or not I'm Jason or a camper, it's a joke. And then I guess the benefit of that is I just get to watch the rest of the round like it's a Friday the 13th movie I've never seen before. Pretty tough, Tyler. If you don't take it in the right order, it can be very, very difficult. I love this whole side plot here with like the guy that's like the hunter, you know, Dog the bounty hunter. You know, he's looking for the kids, and I love that the dad and the brother are here to just like wreak havoc and F this guy's mission up, you know, because they know if this guy gets the kid, then the kid is going to be taken away from them. And that's a very dangerous move right there. The straight, like, rear ending on purpose move. That's a tough one. Is the Friday the 13th NES game on the Switch game catalog? That one is not, but the Friday the 13th, the game, I think I played that one on my PS4. I think it's on the Switch, but I bought it on the PS4, and that's where I've played it live. It would be amazing if they had the LJN game on the Switch, but yeah, you'd probably need a Raspberry Pi to play that one if you just want it, you know, if you didn't want to buy an NES and find the game. Or, you know, an emulator on your computer. Nice, Andy. That's a really good song. There you go. Give me some beers in Donkey Kong Country and leave me be for a while, says Leanna. Yeah, I'm that way when it comes to Super Nintendo. Like, I love Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Super Castlevania 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. Trying to think of other Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I really love that game as well. That original Mario Kart's one of my favorite Mario Karts. I think Double Dash is probably my favorite. That one was on GameCube. Of course, Super Mario World. Love that game. Hey, Spanky. I love that she's like telling him how to gamble. That wouldn't fly. At least not anymore. That wouldn't fly. My favorite Friday the 13th movie, Cruel ZV, is Part 6, Jason Lives. My top 3 are Jason Lives, the final chapter, and Part 2. Never tried that one, but I've seen the Angry Video Game Nerd episode on that. Oh, yeah, totally. Yep. Especially when you get into like the last level. They use a lot of that imagery in the last level. There you go. Cody says final chapter is his favorite, with Jason Lives slightly behind it. All right. Cruel ZB says, I own the Friday the 13th NES game because my dad is a big collector, and I originally was going to get it signed by Kane Hodder at the Washington Horror Con, but I got my NES Jason Pop signed instead. Part 7. Nice. Yeah, and I think the version that's on, it's weird, on the title card of the video game, it is the shot from the poster of Part 4, but I think the shot on the cover of the video game is Kane from Part 7. Right after he breaks into the house, I think he throws that Melissa, the blonde bitch, like, on the other side of the room. Right around that time, I think that's where that shot's taken from. Yeah, and I still do. Yeah, I really love the Angry Video Game Nerds early stuff for sure. Once he started hiring the slobs and all that, it got pretty bad. Like once he and Mike stopped doing the episodes, I think they got pretty bad. But there's a lot of really good work there. James is one of the guys that made me fall in love with YouTube and made me want to start a channel. Absolutely. I love that Fred Savage's character here. He's sort of like an agent slash. He's got like this gangster sort of like, my brother's so good at video games that now I have money. I don't think that exists in this world, but it's really funny that they play it like that, like he's a gangster. Checking on his client. Yeah, I don't think Jason would stand a chance, unfortunately. My guy Michael, got to give him the nod. Yeah. Well, Dean, we find out later. It is one of those things where, yeah, when you're watching this movie, you're like, what the hell is going on here? And then we do get a scene later, which is oddly enough, like if you listen to Jenny Lewis's music and if you like check out her interviews, it seems like maybe some of like the stuff from this character's past is actually like kind of close to her own experiences. Cause I know she's talked about like when she was acting, I think her parents were like taking the money, and I don't think it was a great relationship there between her and her parents and between the two parents, unfortunately. But whatever, she's an amazing rock star and a wildly creative badass. So it was all worth it, right? There you go. Yep. Cody's right. Gotta love that teal and the white. More of that. Yeah. Yeah. Slasher Fred. That's true. It's a good point. Yeah, that was from that trailer. That's kind of funny that they incorporated that. Yeah, who doesn't learn craps like before they're in middle school? Like, what are you, some sort of dumbass? Dumbass. Is that a quote from a movie, or is that just something Italian people say to each other? Yeah, I learned Dice from a Hallway with Eddie Mush and Frankie Coffee Cakes. Yeah, Red Cow. Them talking about James is very, very funny. Mouden. Yeah, Tyler, I would say like the early, the first like, I mean, he was one of the first big ones. Like, let's be honest. I think I started watching him, it was like 06 or 07. And I would say the first like 6 years were pretty solid. Like some really good episodes. His Ghosts and Goblins episode is epic. And that's sort of like, that's maybe a year or two before it started falling off, at least for me. I mean, it's definitely shticky for sure. The first 3 episodes are very interesting because he just did those for his friends on VHS. So he recorded these videos, gave them to his college friends. And I think it was Mike Matei that was like, dude, you got to put this on the internet. Like, there's this thing, YouTube, you should upload, like, these are hilarious. So it was just something that he just made and cut together because he was like a filmmaker as a kid, sort of like a Sam Raimi style, where it's just like you make your, you just make your food. Make your food, make your videos. I'm looking at the diner and I'm thinking to myself, is this the diner from Dumb and Dumber? Sorry, totally distracted. Yeah, so the first like 5 or 6 years of AVGN, totally worth watching. Absolutely. Nights in white satin, never knowing. My dad's a big Moody Blues fan, Leanna. I've got some of I think I was telling you the other night, The Doors. The first needle drop I ever had was Strange Days by The Doors. That was from my dad's collection. It's probably like 11 or 12. And in that same collection, he ended up gifting me his entire collection. There's some Moody Blues in there, which he really, really enjoyed. And he wasn't even a stoner. Crazy. Wow, I don't know. I don't know how to play craps. I don't know hardly anything about gambling. I guess blackjack, sort of. Sort of. Slasher Fred, you're right. It kind of is like a pre-X Files. Yeah. Off topic, but what triggers you guys? At first, Cruel ZB, I was like, oh no, where is he going with this? And then it totally changes. When people mix up Jason and Michael, call Ghostface Scream, and call Art the Clown the Terrifier. Are they at In and Out? That's an In and Out, right? So clean, so fresh and so clean. I just think, nothing really triggers me, I guess, Cruel ZV. But what cracks me up is when I tell people I really love Halloween and they're like, oh, did you know that the mask is William Shatner's face? And I'm like, I just told you it's one of my favorite movies. Like, what? Get the fuck out of my face with your bullshit. And I don't want to be a jerk or anything like that. But also at the same time, it's like, you're not telling me anything new here. So scoot. It's like when I've said this before on the channel, but when people find out I'm a big Mystery Science Theater fan and they're like, oh, Manos, the Hands of Fate. And I'm like, that's the most like basic bitch Mystery Science Theater response. And I'm not saying that Manos, the Hands of Fate is about an episode. I think it's a really funny episode, but it's known as one of like the ones. So if it's all you know, then I know, I don't know. You're either a poser or something. But once again, not triggered. Uncle Don did you a favor. It's giving you life skills, Rod. Whoa, Cody Snyder smoked weed? That's crazy. You've smoked weed, Cody? Come on. You don't seem like the type. Can't wait to roast a bowl with you. Cody says the first place I smoked weed at was the back stairs of a church. Terrible, Cody. How dare you? Trying to think the first place I smoked. I think my parents' backyard at a house party that I threw there when they were out of town. It was wild. We had this beer bong, guys. the funnel was about yay big, bigger than my head. Put it at the top of the stairs, and the tube went all the way down. You had to get on a knee at the front door. You could fit 4 beers in the tube and probably another 2 in the funnel. So we were doing, it was crazy. We were doing like 2 beers at once, or a beer and a shot of whiskey in the funnel. It was absolutely nuts. Little booty there, little side pool booty, and then old man in aquamarine Speedo. Didn't need to see that. But yeah, unfortunately, I think like, yeah, the first time I smoked, I was wildly drunk, and it was not the best experience. And then I learned that when I did it without being drunk, it was a lot of fun and way better than drinking could ever be. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look lovely when you're alone. Looking for my weed pen, but I can't find it. I guess it's not there. There you go, Leanna. The first time I threw up from drinking, it was on the windows of a church. That is amazing. That's the way to go. I think the first time it happened for me, I drank Dr. Pepper and Captain Morgan's. Oh, spiced rum. I like the syrupy rum. I don't like the spiced rum. Syrupy rum is the way to go. Leanna, how did you not burst into flames? That's hilarious. He touched my breast. Didn't touch anyone's breast. What can you do? I mean, usually when it's projectile, you can't, there's nothing you can do to stop it. Well, Andy, they just spray painted it white. They pulled back the hair. They took some of the features out. Yeah. So it's not like, yeah, they just didn't slap, the William Shatner face on there. I did say Manos, the Hands of Fate still has one of the most haunting endings. I will say that about Manos, the Hands of Fate. It's sort of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre before Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like it's got that whole like, you wander into the wrong part of a secluded area of the country and you're done because you've like entered, hell essentially. Hey, he's just playing Nintendo out in the shop there. Yeah, people don't know that some people watch horror movies to study them. Well, and even like I'll say this, like Cruel's EV, like even if you're not studying, like if you just watch them enough, you're going to pick up on these things, right? So it's like one of the things that I always talk about on the channel is I think like a better audience is going to make better art because we're going to be more critical about what we spend our money on and what we adore and all that stuff. And yeah, I think that being a better audience member is part of that. So here we go, Dean. It's funny, this fashion is like actually like modern fashion now. Like sweatpants with boots and a jean jacket with a sweatshirt for the girl, and then seafoam green sweatshirt with the shorts for the guy. And then we're getting sort of we're gonna get the backstory on like her whole family and everything, because this is like her home. Yeah, so her mom has a gambling problem. That's how I learned about crack. From Uncle Don. I don't know. I probably can't do it right. I had no idea, Cody. The armpit of Central Nevada. That's a long time, Cody. I would imagine with your job, you can't. Isn't that wild, though, that like some places are like, we're not going to test you for alcohol, but we are going to test you for weed. And it's like, okay. Like, which drug is actually more dangerous? Like, let's just be honest, right? Oh, yeah, I never really got, I might seem like a wild child. I don't know what you guys think of me. Did mushrooms a couple times. Really low dose, chill, nothing too crazy. Tried to keep like a nice wave, and that's it, really. Weed, mushrooms, booze. I was at a Awesome Fest in San Diego years ago. This was probably like 9 years ago or something like that. And one of my buddies was like, we were talking. He's like, "You've never done coke?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "All right, dude, you got to do this bump right now." And pulled out like a key all ready to go. I don't even know how he did it. It was like some magic trick. And I'm like, "Dude, my parents and my lady are out there, and I don't want them to have to deal with me on that." I've never done that and didn't know what to expect. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't need another thing to enjoy in life. I already enjoy plenty enough. Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the layers in the movie. I think one of the reasons why this movie works, if you guys are watching along, is because the children's story is moving along as the adult story moves along at the same time. It's a really nice, even movement. Mm-mm. This guy's car is so busted. How has he not been pulled over like in trains, planes, and automobiles? This car is a wreck. Who is this old man in a Speedo? That's a bad hat, Harry. Hell yeah, Cruel ZV. I hope you enjoy Long Legs. I dug it. I don't think you'll be confused. I think it's a beautifully shot film with really interesting performances. I enjoyed Long Legs. Don't let the hype ruin any movie for you. Have a great rest of your night, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. The only thing I ever remotely apple schnapps. Yeah. It's not for everyone. And if I had to give up one or the other, I would take cannabis over alcohol any day of the week. The guy in the Speedo. I like the Dean from 5 years ago, the lead singer of Final Warning. Dean, were you in a band? Dean, I was in a band. We should share each other's music with one another. That would be fun. Ah, you can be a nerd and enjoy smoking or drinking, right? Being a nerd is just about loving something so much that some people look at you like Stewie when you start talking about it. Exactly. There's a whole world outside of Apple Pucker. That's absolutely correct. Dean, I remember giving a ride to this club promoter years ago, and he just looks at me and goes, "You want a bump?" As he just busts out this 8 ball and rips a bump off his thumb in my passenger seat. Couldn't even give you the courtesy. Like, "Hey, bud, I'm going to do some coke here. Is it cool if I do some coke here? Or are you going to be a dick about it?" There you go. No car inspections in Michigan, but they're in California. California. My phone's going off telling me to upload a short. Sip it and I spit everything out of my, yeah. Yeah, apple pucker. I mean, drinking liqueur, just drinking the liqueur itself, no good. No good. You have to mix it with something if you're doing liqueur, or shoot it with something. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, I haven't seen The Wedding Singer in a really long time. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dean were in a band. I feel like everyone on the East Coast has been in a band. Oh, too cute. Your pants will be dancing with figs. Here we go. Everyone wanted to be here. Universal Studios Hollywood. Holy crap. My family took a trip probably right around like the year before this was shot, I would imagine. Video Army. Look at the freaking. This guy puts in a dedicated performance off X. Gaiden. The people in the background are not acting like performers at all. They're standing around watching people make a movie. Guys, we are in it now. This is very, very exciting. This is the part of the film that really amps me up and gives me those nostalgic feelings. Oh, I've never seen Pixels, Andy. Andy, fat guy in a little coat comes from Tommy Boy. Julia Gulia? Yeah, Glenn Gulia, that's a great asshole in comedy film history. I think that's one of the great things that comedies give us. I really do think comedies give us some of the greatest villains of all time. I think people undersell comedic villains. R.J. Fletcher from UHF, I think, is one of the greatest villains of all time. I'd put him right up there with Hans from Die Hard and Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop, who is, in my opinion, hot take, maybe, I don't know, the greatest villain in 80s action. I think RoboCop is the best 80s action film. I don't think any movie has aged better or gets close. Yeah, screaming police lieutenant in Last Action Hero and in Loaded Weapon 1, Dean. He even says, like, when Samuel L. Jackson is like, I'm doing this for every cop that ever laid his life on the line. And then Spanky is like, hey, I'm the lieutenant here. I do all the yelling. BBC America has the end of Roadhouse on right now. Next up, A Bronx Tale. Cody and Dean represented. There it is. Leanna's got 1 foot in the Davey Death Ray channel and 1 foot in BBC America. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I don't know. Skynet has taken over. Yeah, I haven't seen that Roadhouse remake. Some movies I just pass on. I don't know. There you go, Brett. It's so bad. And it is so bad. The Power Glove's a fucking nightmare. Actually, so when I was in like second or third grade, something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit later. There was a kid that I went to school with, Daniel Tinsley. Shout out to Daniel Tinsley, fellow Coast Guard brat. And he had a birthday party where we watched the Super Mario Brothers 1993 movie. Oh, so I was 11. So it was like, yeah, fourth or fifth grade or something like that. We watched the Super Mario Brothers movie and he got a Power Glove for his birthday. I tell you what, everyone in that house tried to set that damn thing up. The parents, the kids, everyone. And it was a friggin' nightmare. So I have like a firsthand experience as a kid where I was like backing away. I was like Homer going back into the hedge on all of that. Leanna showing some love there. Cody says everyone can get something out of Roadhouse. There you go. I've never a Bronx Tale. I don't. Is that a Chaz Palminteri? Is he in that movie? I feel like I know the cover. I don't think I've seen the movie though. But I think I know what you're talking about. The Power Glove was like most toys in the 80s. They couldn't live up to the hype. Yeah, it was an absolute fail, unfortunately. It didn't make, controllers are great. Like, if your console is worth a damn, then the controller should be really, really sufficient for like 99% of the games. And then maybe you do like a light gun for some games and stuff like that, right? But your controller, you should feel like you have control of the character. That's been something that games have been able to nail forever. So there's no excuse. You play Galaga, you feel in total control. You play Miss Pac-Man, you feel like you're in total control. Those are old fucking games, right? You just want to know that it's responsive and that the people that develop the game like are, understand what people want. Like Super Castlevania 4, some of the best controls ever. Bronx Tale is fire. We had a ball as kids with the track and field gaming pad on the NES. Now, Brett, did you actually run on the gaming pad, or did you just get down on your hands and knees and like smack it, with your hands? Did you just slap it around? And I know that might mean a couple things. Did you just slap it around? Think about it within context. I'm talking about the power pad. Get your head out of the gutter, Brett. Come on. Come on. Okay. So Chaz was in it. De Niro directed it. I didn't even know that De Niro directed anything. Has he directed anything since? I love Chaz. Chaz is great. He's got a great face. Face of a bulldog. There we go. We got Tobey Maguire on the screen hanging out all the way on the left. There you are. He's got a little fashionable mullet. Thinking about Uncle Ben, not the rice. What's happening? Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies says, what's up, everyone? Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Thank you so much for jumping in, Cody. I am wrapping up our edit on And All Through the House. That's going to be dropping for channel members tomorrow on Friday and on Saturday for everybody else. California. There you go. Used our hands. That was the trick. Yeah, Rob the Robot. Yeah, for Gyromite, I think was the main game that Rob was used for. Lilo Brancado is a modern tragedy. Zsa Zsa Gabor and Pee Wee Herman in a romantic lead. Yeah, you just got to kick it with your thumb there, Andy. The Good Shepherd. Okay. Okay. We have the best Codys. We have the best Tigers. I mean, you guys are amazing in the chat. Like I said, earlier today, I posted some of the stats that YouTube sent my way. Last year we were aiming for 300 subs by New Year's. We crossed that mark on New Year's Eve. And since then, it's been like 893 subs. Put out, average wise, more than one video a day, which is really cool on the channel. And man, you guys are such a huge part in making that happen. Like if I jumped on and no one was here, there would be no show. Oh my God, Brett, Nintendo Power was amazing. Oh, so good. I remember those first few issues, like the clay models of, Mario and Wart from Super Mario Brothers 2 for that first issue were amazing. Simon Belmont from that second issue for Simon's Quest for Castlevania 2, incredible. I think I remember Ninja Gaiden on there, Mega Man 2. And then even later on, like I remember like Star Tropics and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, Nintendo Power was incredible, man. Yeah. I even had a GamePro subscription at one point because I had kind of like, I have had these periods in my life where I get out of video games and then I swing back into them. And yeah, middle school to high school, I didn't play very many. It was mostly like grade school played a lot. And then after high school, I got a GameCube and just, man, I was blown away by how awesome the GameCube was. I think the GameCube is like the most underrated system of all time. I think it has the best controller I've ever used. That Wavebird wireless controller for the GameCube is amazing. The cool thing about the GameCube remote is you never have to look down at your hands because each button is a different size and shape that like you don't ever have to be like, oh, which one am I hitting X or am I hitting Y? Like, no, because on the GameCube there's like two bean-shaped buttons, a big round, a small round, and then you have like your yellow analog and your D-pad, right? It's just like, and the two triggers, and one trigger is bigger than the other. It is like Braille for video game enthusiasts. The GameCube controller is second to none. And I'm just going to put my foot down. There's not any controller that even comes close, people. Nice collection of movie pins I would get from video stores. Super. Tips and tricks. That's a good one. Yeah. NFL Blitz on GameCube. Yes. That was a really fun arcade game that they brought to GameCube. And that earlier I was talking about how I really love the original Mario Kart. It's my second favorite, Mario Kart of all time. But Double Dash on the GameCube is like the greatest Mario Kart game of all time. Like that's where it's at. Really, really fun. Oh man. Dreamcast. I just hooked up my Dreamcast again to show my son the Crazy Taxi game. Lots of fun. Yeah, the Dreamcast, really great sports games as well. I think the Dreamcast was the very first system that ever had a permanent hookup without a modem. You could just plug it right into the cable or the internet at the time. It was great. All right, so we are reaching the end of video Armageddon here. We're about to get, he does the gimme, gimme, gimme. I need some more. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Don't ask what for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jimmy Woods. So James Woods comes down as the vampire hunter from John Carpenter's Vampires. Ready to Rumble in round 2 were so fun as boxing games. Man, I totally missed that whole generation. I played a Dreamcast once. I never have owned a Dreamcast. I was a NES, Genesis, and then GameCube kid. Like skipped a whole bunch there. But as far as boxing games go, Dean, of course, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, of course. Ring King on the original Nintendo. My favorite sports games, though, like on the Genesis, like NHLPA 93 and Madden 93. Those got me really into both of those sports. In fact, I learned the rules of the NHL by playing the video game. I was a Red Wings fan as a kid because they were so good in that game. And then, my siblings all grew up in the DC area. I was born kind of in that area. And so I became a Caps fan and started playing as the Caps. And that's a good team too on that game. There we go. Super Mario Bros. Mario Party can be really fun, Cody. You're right. Road Rash. Yes. My friends and I would rent a Sega Saturn in high school, and we'd rent, and along with it, we would get Road Rash 3D. Really, really fun. Leanna says RC Pro-Am. It's a really good one, too. Yeah, NHLPA 93 had the blood. Yeah. I think automatically they usually had it off. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can play that game, no joke, Brett. Like, give me any team, and I can win that game like 75-2. That's the one of the games I've clocked in the most hours on is EA Sports NHLPA 93 for the Sega Genesis. No joke. So what I'd like to do, what I love doing on that game, Brett, is I pick the caps and I put in the worst players. Or after my starters get hat tricks, I replace them. And then after their replacements get hat tricks, I replace those. So I just see how many lines I can go through and how like bad of players I can use to just totally kick their asses. Because there's like a cheese way you can score on that game. It's a lot easier to score in NHLPA 93 than it is in any of the subsequent entries in the series for sure. Tecmo Bowl's amazing, Big Rod. Love it. Love being the Redskins on that one. Of course, everyone always talks about the Los Angeles Raiders. The Giants are really good in that game as well. Yeah, there's a handful of teams that are really good there. San Francisco, Giants, Redskins. Yeah. LA. Absolutely. Oh, Dean, it was absolutely epic. You go and get your game and you already know how to get one of the whistles. It's amazing. Big Rod asks, anyone remember Hit on Ice on NES? I don't know. You know what, Big Rod? I never owned an SNES, unfortunately. I think it's like arguably the greatest system of all time, and I just never owned one. So I've never played Hit the Ice. Yeah, I mean, hockey is just a better version of soccer. Let's be honest. It moves quicker. It's tough, and it's okay to be tough, and it's more exciting and usually higher scoring. The one that I would always use, Brett, is I would always approach them from the right. And at the very last minute, I would juke left, go back right, and shoot. In 93, you're going to score like 9 times out of 10. Like you just juke them, and you could be the slowest as long as you don't have somebody hit you and take the puck. As long as you have a clean alley, you're going to score every time. And then when you're going down, I found that down the best way was to go left and just do a little right left, like a much like more subtle move, and you're going to score, I don't know, 80-85%. Don't quote me on the math, Brett. Okay? Don't be you're going to be a jerk about it and quote me on the math. What are fighting words? Tell me. Leanna, what are fighting words? I know. The wrap around the net trick. All right. I've never tried that one. I always just go for it. Oh, you guys know me. Just dive right in, you know. Ooh, Joe and Mac on the Genesis. Yeah, I think that was an arcade game that was ported to both consoles. Yeah. I think I've got one of those games or two of those games on like a package that I bought for the Switch. Cutaway fight minigame reminiscent to Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I mean, Blades of Steel kind of had like, yeah, that side view fight kind of thing, but yeah, I've never heard of that one. Open Ice. The NBA Jam version of hockey. Yeah, because Blitz was like the NFL version. Exactly, Andy. If you hurt yourself in hockey, just put it on ice, and then ice is all around you. What's happening? Chris Snyder from Movie Misfits Video. How you doing, Chris? So great to see you. One of our great Death Squad mods here on the channel. He says this movie is rad, big part of my childhood. Right there with you, Chris. Guys, if you do not subscribe to Movie Misfits Video, go check him out. He's going to be dropping some really fun Who Killed Who Scream episodes that are going to be extremely deep dives. Chris has been taking the better half of a year putting this series together for everyone. So go give him a sub, hit that notification bell, so when he starts dropping these vids here in 2025, you do not miss out on one single thing. This guy makes really, really fun content, got a great personality. You do not want to miss it. The wraparound. All right, there you go. Wait, are you guys talking about I have a different kind of wraparound trick that I try. Oh, wait, when did I do that? When did I do that? I never did that, Leanna. I never did that. But I do think hockey is better than soccer. Yes. It's true. It's true. It's all true. It's true. I'm fucking telling you. Pigskin football on the Genesis. Never played that one. Well, here we are. Jimmy won the tournament. I know. I just talked about bullshit and hockey video games through the whole like exciting climax of the children's story here. And here they are between LA and Palm Springs, where we've got these dinosaurs. Everyone is going to recognize those from Pee Wee as well. Never stopped at this spot, but I've driven past it many times. The last time I drove past it was coming back from H45 just over a year ago. You know it. There's no way he would have, Brad. It's just to teach us how to do it. And welcome to the chat, my guy, Brad Johnson, up there in Juneau, Alaska, up there in J-Town, holding down the fort. Never played any of the Evil Dead games, Brett. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I think he dies once or twice, Andy. Yeah, if I remember correctly. We do have the best Snyders. The best Snyders, the best Codys, the best Tigers. All that kind of fun stuff. Exactly. Tell him Large Marge sent you. There it is. Brooke is rapidly approaching her birthday here. Guys, if you're new to the chat and you haven't wished Brooke a happy early birthday, go ahead and do that. You're going to want to do that. Celebrating here on December 20th. Anyone within the month of December, make an extra effort for the birthday. It can be tough. I don't know for myself personally, but my brother Matt, his birthday is on the 13th, and it can be tough. This is the last place that they were happy as a family. And so it really like, this is a great moment that really like brings it all home, you know? Yeah. So to Jimmy, this is what California means. Like peace for the family. I guess he just wanted to leave her in a place she was happy. Super sweet. Yeah. This movie is touching, man. This is for being a movie, a lot of people just like, remember that movie that's just a commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3? Like if you're watching like Joe Blow or whatever. There's just a lot of that out there, and I think they miss a big part of what this movie's all about. I mean, you get a feeling here at the end of this movie that like the mom and dad are gonna like reconcile, which is wild. Yeah, why don't we you take our boys home? Pretty moving stuff. Really, really good. And just leave that lunchbox where it is. Brad says, I challenged my son to beat a Zelda game. The kid looked up at a glitch that let him beat the SNES version in 10 minutes. I've heard about that one. I've heard you can do that in, is it Breath of the Wild? I heard there's something you can do in Breath of the Wild to just go right into the castle immediately and take on Ganon. Great final track here. I mean, this movie, it just hits all the points. Oh, and they drive off in the distance as the music plays. Luke Edwards, Vincent Lair, Wendy Phillips, Dia McAllister, Sam McMurray. Sam McMurray, that's a, don't forget that report, Bill. Quick shout out to F-Zero for being groundbreaking. Oh yeah, the Mode 7 graphics on F-Zero, it just feels so fast. Really, really good shit. All right. Well, guys, that was The Wizard. Directed by Todd Holland, not Tom Holland, Spider-Man, or Tom Holland, Child's Play. Excuse me. That damn cannabis. Yeah, what a movie. What a flick. Excuse me, guys. Dean says, I'm torn now. Do I buy the Wizard Blu-ray or wait on the Almost Inevitable? Well, Dean, I don't know if you saw this before. This Blu-ray comes with like a second disc that's all really cool special features. And then they've got this this awesome like alternate artwork that's pretty cute. You know, 32-bit, like modern retro 32-bit kind of look there. Yeah, to me it was totally worth it. Like, I think this movie is an absolute classic. Yes, there you go. Brooke says such a classic. Exactly. Yeah. Guys, that's The Wizard. Look at that. 2 hours and 12 minutes. 2 hours and 13 minutes officially. Let me check on the poll here. 27 votes. Holy cow. Is Super Mario Brothers 3 the greatest NES game of all time? 73% say yes, 100%. 27% say no, the best NES game is blank. I think most of you said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. But yeah, guys, as far as the Saturday stream goes, that poll is still open. If you haven't voted yet, we have 64 votes so far. Die Hard is winning with 36%. So it looks like we're going to be watching that on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And let me see here. Get my little tunage going here as we resume. There we go. Yeah, guys, this was great. Here we are, 10:30 out here in the West Valley of Phoenix. Really appreciate you guys jumping on with me because we had no plans on our live. But you know, sometimes it's just I knew that I wasn't going to be able to jump in between now and Christmas, and this movie celebrated its 35th anniversary on the 15th of December, so I already missed it by 4 days. Just figured let's jump in, let's give it a watch and hang out. That's what I'm saying. Do I grab a Shout Factory Blue or wait till Shout does the 4K? I don't know, man. I guess if you're a 4K guy, then just wait till the 4K, right? Like, to me, I think Blu-ray is like the most that I need. I don't know if I need beyond Blu-ray for most things, but I also don't have a 4K player yet. So I just still go Blu-ray. Yeah, 4K will come at some point, but for now, grab the Shout Blu-ray. Worth the buy and probable double dip. I will say this, you guys know more than I do about the physical media stuff. It can just be, it's a lot. Sometimes for me, it's like a lot of chasing. It can be a lot of money, and I love, like, I can vicariously live through the people that do all the collecting. I have a tough time keeping up myself. So that's just me, though. Thank you so much for kicking it, Big Rod. Really appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night. You got it, Brooke. I hope you have an amazing birthday tomorrow and an awesome birthday weekend. Yeah, just a half hour till Brooke's birthday out where Andy's at. Yeah, Leanna saying what's good night to Big Rod there, one of our great channel members. 8:30 in Alaska. No. Oh, it is. It is 8:30 in Alaska. Yeah, they're like 4 hours off from East Coast. It's wild out there in Alaska. It is 8:30. Holy cow, man. Yeah, 10:30 out here. I'm living in the future. The future. I used to stick to blue, and then I made the jump to 4K and never regretted it. I get you. I have a bunch of 4Ks, but man, the collecting game, it can be a lot of FOMO there, and I have a tough time keeping up with the Joneses, but I do love, watching everybody show everything off. I'm fortunate enough to have what I have in my collection. I'm very, very happy. Eli Cortez, one of our Death Squad mods here and a great channel member, he sent me like, I don't know, 30 or 40 movies. It's absolutely crazy. Like I got the that special Night Owls collector's edition of Late Night with the Devil, and then Eli had sent me the Steelbook on top of that, and the Steelbook had some special features that the collectible version didn't even have. So it's like, it's sometimes I understand the double dip. Like it is really cool to have those things, especially for movies you really, really enjoy. In fact, I've owned Jaws probably in 10 or 12 different versions, and right now I think I have like 2 or 3 in my possession. I've been meaning to give some away because I upgraded to like a Steelbook, so I've been meaning to give a Blu-ray away and just haven't gotten around to it. There you go. Upgrade the titles you want. Don't feel the need to upgrade everything. Hell yeah, Big Rod. Hope you have a great night, man. Hopefully we see you on Saturday for Die Hard, most likely. Happy birthday, Brooke Scarlett. There you go. One more time. I mean, you don't need to start the whole collection. It's all up to you. It's all up to you, Andy, what you want to restart. Oh my gosh, dude. Eli, he sent me some pictures, Dean, where I was just like, holy shit, dude. It's like a video store. It's very, very impressive. All right, guys, we are closing in on 2.5 hours. I really appreciate you all kicking it with me here late on a Thursday night. I will be, so a couple things, just let me get my commercial out here. Like, subscribe if you haven't, share with somebody that you know would like this kind of content. If you're watching after the fact, please leave a comment. It really helps the live stream on the replay side of things. And I just dropped the Superman trailer earlier this morning. I dropped some horror movie news yesterday. For the members, I will be dropping the Tales from the Crypt Season 1, Episode 2, and All Through the House review with Cody Snyder and Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies tomorrow. And for everyone else, that review will be opening up on Saturday. If you want early access to that review, sign up for our membership. It's just 99 cents a month. Really not so bad. We have 81 members right now, and you guys are amazing. You're helping to pay the bills here and keep the lights on. It's really, really incredible and so kind of you. If you're not into membership but still want to throw a buck or two my way, there you go. That little Venmo there, that's the way to do it. The easiest way to do it. Big Rod knows all about that. Thank you so much to everybody for kicking it with me and watching this movie celebrating its 35th anniversary. Thank you so much to the Patreon members, the channel members. You guys know who you are. You know that I love you. I mean, I love all of you, but you know that I love the channel members just a little bit more. And thank you so much to the moderators. Tonight we've had Brooke Scarlett, Chris Snyder, Leanna Bevyrage, and Cody Snyder. I think I've got everyone that's a mod that's been in here tonight for this stream. So really appreciate you guys for kicking it with me. Big shout out. Another shout out to Brooke here. It's her birthday tomorrow. So if you haven't said happy birthday, please do. Everyone deserves to feel special, especially on their birthday. So happy birthday, Brooke. You guys are amazing. I'll be back Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're probably going to be watching Die Hard unless there's some sort of crazy seismic shift in the poll that's going on in the community tab. So just let me know and keep an eye out for that Tales from the Crypt video. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Death Ray. Take care.